you can believe it, I've spent the last 48 hours in a quarantine facility before I could even get here. And before I could even go into this facility, I have to get disinfected.
In this episode of How China Works, I'm bringing cameras and questions to places outsiders are rarely permitted to investigate the aspirations of the world's fastest-growing middle class.
They are willing to try something brand new.
And the challenges caused by such rapid growth.
Now, China has been rocked by yet another food scandal.
You're actually engaged in every single layer. The security of all steps from sort of seed to spoon is part of your responsibility.
By 2030, the Chinese middle class will include over 1 billion people looking for a better life.
Vitamin E content has increased about 30% in the oil.
And a more culturally fulfilled one.
Last year alone in China, they opened 1 new museum every single day. These guys are going to drive the movies that are made in my country.
Yes.
I'm Danny Forster.
That sums it up.
I've spent years investigating cultures and countries around the globe.
Doing it. And that's a cow in a merry-go-round, yes. The winner!
And I'm here to find out how China works. Over 260 kilometers away from Jiangsu Center is a sustainable pig farm. One of 66 ecological breeding bases for livestock, built on a massive scale to match an evolving Chinese diet.
Every day at about 7 a.m., literally thousands of little pigs right here get weaned from their mother, and this is the first time they're being let out. Hey guys, what's going on, guys? I'm your new friend. My name's Danny, I'm gonna be taking care of you. This is Louis. Louis is gonna come home with me to New York. So all these pigs need to go to a pen, which will be their new home for the next couple of weeks. Let's go, buddy. Let's go, team. Come on, guys, you can do it.
This growing demand for meat is a symptom of China's total social and economic transformation. In 1980, the average income of a Chinese city dweller was 440 renminbi, the equivalent to about $280 US. In less than 40 years, that income has increased by a factor of 15. This new wealth creates new challenges.
After decades of urbanization and a real commitment to domestic innovation, China has grown a massive middle class. And this burgeoning demographic has changed Chinese culture. I mean, the bottom line is they want a better life than their parents had, specifically starting with food. I mean, think about it. Earn a little more money, you want to eat a little better.
And as the Chinese are learning, better can't just mean better tasting.
So everything here is natural and salt-free, sugar-free, chemical-free, and healthy.
Sort of a bit of a new trend out here, though.
Very new. We're trying to educate consumers on things they don't know they need yet. A more nutritious solution option would be, the traditional grains, buckwheat, brown rice, black rice that they used to eat.
So in a sense, you're actually reintroducing a lot of things that were part of the Chinese diet 40, 50 years ago that have fallen away with some of the kind of enthusiasm over Western foods.
Yeah.
The desire for a healthier diet stems from a legitimate public concern.
Now, China has been rocked by yet another food scandal, this time affecting major fast food chains in the Shanghai area.
I mean, certainly food security has been in the news recently.
And there's a lot in the media about this, being tainted and this being poisoned. And so there's a lot of fear amongst consumers on what to eat. And that question I get asked a lot as well, like, what should I eat? There's nothing left to eat.
A state-owned enterprise has been dedicated to dealing with this problem. COFCO Corporation. They're researching how to produce nutritional foods that actually taste good.
At the COFCO R&D Center, they're trying to find a way to make mass agriculture healthy for people, but also healthy for the planet. And they're trying to build a better noodle.
The demand is huge. At the same time, the resource is limited. So for us, COFCO, we put food safety and quality as #1 priority. We install this fully integrated value chain.
Because you're actually engaged in every single layer, the security of all steps from sort of seed to spoon is part of your responsibility.
Right. Yeah, because we understand the value chain of the food is a very long value chain.
Right.
COFCO doesn't just study food, they produce it. The Dongtai pig farm in Jiangsu is home to 250,000 pigs.
So, Dr. Lee, how old are these little guys that I'm seeing right now?
They are just 21 days old. We are going to separate them by sex and by the body weight because the bigger one will grow faster than the small one in the next 20 weeks.
And also the big one might bully the little one, get into a little bit of fight. Got to keep them separated.
Yes.
How do you tell the difference between male and female? Oh, there it is. I actually don't know what that is. Is that a boy? Boy? That's a girl. Good thing we have Dr. Lee with us today, otherwise we'd be in trouble. Oh, you had a lot of your mom's milk, didn't you, buddy? You guys love pork.
Yeah, because traditionally Chinese eat more pork than any other kind of meat.
Lunchtime.
Yes.
The pigs are hungry.
Uh-huh.
You guys are eating nonstop.
Yes.
So here at 10 weeks old, this is the delicacy that you're feeding them.
The feed here is made mostly with corn and soybean.
So the food you're giving them is calibrated to the age in which you give it to them, is right?
Yes. Nutrition requirement is different in different age. For example, for this age, they need more minerals to get the skeletal deposition. The bone is grown.
This is like when I was a kid, they said drink a lot of milk, you'll get a strong bone.
Yes.
You're giving them strong bones.
Yes, for the later weeks, they will get more protein deposition. The feed is made in COFCO's own feed mill.
So you make your own feed.
Yeah, and we made the feed in the same day when we feed it. That means all the pigs here eat the fresh food.
So not processed, not frozen, not rehydrated, nothing.
Yes.
Have you thought of feeding them my shoe, by the way? Because they seem to have a real interest in my booth. Oh, Jesus! Little f***er bit me. After 25 weeks here at the facility, our friends here are now fully grown. They're graduating. No, they're not. They're going to the marketplace. And as sad as that is, put this in perspective historically.
In the 1950s, the average Chinese family had 3% of their diet
With any meat products whatsoever. Now in 2014, imagine this. 700 million pigs will go to feed the Chinese population this year alone.
The Chinese are consuming more, and not just at the table.
All they want is the kind of gigantic robots that roam the screen that you cannot find in a Chinese film.
Since the late 90s, China has been seeing higher incomes and increasing affluence. And its middle class has been on a spending spree. Right now, the Chinese retail market is one of the largest in the world, second only to the US. However, when the Chinese spend, they spend with a vengeance. They now represent the single largest buyer of luxury goods in the world. Now, to support that demand, fancy, big, high-end shopping malls are opening up all over the country, and if you can believe it, 50% of all malls being built in the world are happening in China. China is building nearly 300 gigantic malls a year to serve the public's growing appetite for consumer goods. In fact, in 2008, the Chinese people spent $1.7 trillion on retail purchases. Cut to 4 years later, that number doubled.
We have a middle class that's evolved into an upper middle class who now has money.
Yes.
And now they have some discerning tastes.
One-to-one shooting base here for those who want to shoot in the Forbidden City.
It's kind of fascinating.
But there is more to Handian than just movies.
Now, what I find really interesting is that if a director wants to make a movie here, he doesn't pay any money. So here's my question. How do you make any money?
Yeah, we make money, we make profit from these tourists. They need to pay.
They pay a ticket.
Yeah, you can watch, and maybe you can meet your loved stars, and maybe you can get signed from him or her.
You get the autograph signed.
Yeah.
At Handian, they've cashed in on a surge of domestic tourism that has attracted over 12 million people a year to the studio.
Ni hao.
This remote rural corner of China has big dreams to take on Hollywood and beat it. I've seen government agencies and corporate developers working to influence China's huge middle class. But it's actually individual entrepreneurs who drive today's China dream. And in the mid-1990s, Xu Wenrong went from farmer to movie mogul.
Tell me how Handian Studios helped to transform the Chinese movie industry and created all of this massive growth.
横店本来很落后，是人才不肯来。我们竟然不断到其他地方去考察，特别是美国好莱坞，他的拍戏带动的旅游，我们就开始找横店。而这个拍戏基地呢，我就全开放了，不收费，所以呢，吸引了全中国的拍戏的学祖啊，到这里来了。拍完戏以后呢，来旅游的人呢多了，所以这是一个成功的一个典型。
It's true. Tell me a little bit about the evolution and development of Chinese cinema over the last 20 years.
美国好莱坞是世界有名的，但你这拍戏基地很小，绝对是我横店大。可是高科技呢是要不过你们好莱坞的，但是中国人也很聪明的，不久将来会赶上你，人只超过你。这个话是我说的。
That desire to match and even surpass the West is fascinating. And if Handian is really the new Hollywood, then I want to see it from the other side of the camera.
You know, I'm interested in breaking into acting. So if there's a chance that someone's shooting a movie and they need a non-Chinese speaking white guy from New York City,
Okay, I can recommend you.
you can hook that up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Handian, possibly my big first break.
On any given day, Handian employs up to 20,000 extras in over 30 different productions. So the odds of my getting a big break look pretty good.
Yeah, I'd like to be someone of like a very high class with a huge mustache and a sword. Is that, are you casting that part?
We can have some clothes for you. But...
Yeah, I need some weapon.
Yeah.
I mean, in 12th century is a dangerous place. I have to defend myself. Hi, ladies. How are you guys doing? Oh, take these off. Sure. Do we know who I'm playing? We're just going with the hair first.
I talked with the director, but they said they will tell you later.
They'll tell me later.
Yeah.
It's good. Build the character from the outside in. Start with the costume. I'll find my voice.
Yeah, we'll try to make it harder on you.
That's good. You done? Finished? Okay. Well, so that happened. Hair and makeup are done. I haven't seen myself yet, but I get a strong suspicion I have newfound facial hair. Now it's off to wardrobe. Yep. It's me. Oh, look at this. I get a little... Oh, snap. Look at that. Okay, so now I got my jingling bell, mustache. I'm missing one small, final, critical piece for me to develop my full character so I can really go in and be the method actor that I am. Is that it? Oh, ho, 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 ho. Okay.
Handian Studios has a huge production capacity to match China's growing demand for mass entertainment. But you can also see a new desire for high culture as well, in all the focus being paid to art and architecture.
You know, I was in China quite a few years ago, and just looking at the difference over the past couple of years in the quality of architecture and the type of architecture, it seems vastly different.
10年前，甚至于更早的20年前的时候，我们其实受到很多就是美国建筑的一个影响，但是在这之后重新思考现代主义在中国的一个发展的问题。那么这个时候，这个本土的文化呢，也不希望是一个符号性的， 那么像在中国，我们很多这样的我们一些年轻的一些建筑师都希望能够通过非常本体的建筑的语言，能够重新去诉说一个建筑和一个具体的场地之间的历史之间的一个关联。所以更多的你会看到更多更纯粹的这样一些结构性的建筑的出现。
So as I look at this building right now and I look at the quality of the design and the geometry and the abstraction, am I looking at a kind of a pure contemporary Chinese style of architecture?
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about the concept behind the design for the architecture.
这个地方原来是一个运煤的一个码头，我们是采用了一个清水混凝土的这样一个散体结构的做法。因为在这个建筑的外面有一个原来历史保存下来的一个煤漏斗，一个煤炭的运煤的一个漏斗的一个运载桥。这个结构呢是一个纯粹的用它的一个结构体的方式来展现这个构筑物本身的功能性的一个内容。
China's remarkable economic development is fueling the creation of an inextricably new Chinese aesthetic. Do you now see that with that newfound wealth, there's a new hunger or appreciation for art and culture?
我遇到很多有钱人，也有来找我们做设计、做美术馆，就是因为他这些年，因为他赚了很多的钱，然后他的生活好像从某种程度上失去了一些目标，因为对他来说，赚钱已经没有刺激了。像这对夫妇也是这样。
As never before in Chinese history, individuals are now in a position to bring culture to the masses. China's turbocharged economy has produced titans of industry who are interested not just in collecting art, but in sharing it. More museums are being built here than anywhere else on Earth.
2010年，就是中国人大，的 National People Congress， 他们制定了一个5年的计划，希望能够在5年内让中国的博物馆达到3500家。那么实际上，中国在1949年的时候，大概只有25家的博物馆，到2013年，就去年的年底，已经超过4000家了。那么已经提前2年完成那个中国人大的一个5年的计划了。
They achieved this unprecedented goal not with government backing, but with the involvement of private individuals like Wang Wei and her husband, Louis Qian, who invested over $1 billion in art. Tell me a little bit about this painting here.
他们3个伟人打下了中国的那个江山。
The Long Museum exhibits a mix of revolutionary, contemporary, and ancient Chinese art. You and your husband have been incredibly successful in the past few years, but you've taken your success and invested it in art privately, but now you've transformed your private collection into public institutions. Why do that?
我先生，当然我们2个也是投身到艺术中，那么把我们私人的收藏公众于世，那么让大家共享，我们觉得也是我们作为一个企业家的一种职责。
In building these incredible museums and taking your private collection and making it public, it seems that it's not just about sharing the art, but it's also about educating the public and bringing a kind of cultural education to the newly wealthy people. Is that true?
我想现在因为我们中国发展很快，但是对精神文化思想理念上面，我觉得还是有缺的。所以对这么多的美术馆开出来，我觉得对整个民众是一种非常好的一个休闲场所。我们现在对文化精神的一种向往，我觉得更加的有需求了。
In 2012, China opened a whopping 450 museums and did so in a single year. Now, to put that in perspective, in America, we opened 40 museums a year, and that was before the financial recession when things have actually gotten worse. But you have to say to yourself, we're building that much culture that quickly. I mean, in Europe, it took literally hundreds of years to develop this kind of cultural infrastructure, and China's doing it that fast. But you go to a place like the Long Museum, what do you find? Real collectors buying contemporary art, commissioning legitimate architecture, and then sharing that work with the world. So in this case, from my perspective, it actually bodes well for the future of Chinese arts and culture. China's changing tastes and increased discernment are not limited to art alone, also influencing how they shop. Megacities in China are the first to revel in change and choices. Their residents are often first to embrace new food, entertainment, and fashion, leaving the rest of the country to follow in their footsteps.
Tell me a bit about how you've seen the evolution of style take place over the past 5-10 years in China.
Shanghai has becoming very independent in fashion itself. They started to build their personal style instead of just following what the trend is. They're starting to becoming the influencer for the other cities.
And how do you see the kind of buying habits of folks outside of cities like Shanghai or Beijing?
People from second-tier city, a lot of them come over for weekends and then just get to the shopping mall immediately, just buy off brands that they know of.
Right.
And they come in here because of the style, and they have money to buy that.
So people are actually coming to Shanghai as now a kind of a retail shopping hub. They come here, spend a weekend, go bananas, buy like crazy.
Yes.
I wish I had some new money. I can go around and buy some stuff.
Never before has China's rising middle class been exposed to so many choices from art to retail. Consumers want better, especially when it comes to food, the central pillar of Chinese culture.
Now, you can't ignore the incredible development of a city like Shanghai, incredible density, infrastructure, opportunity, technology, but there are social costs that come along with this kind of modernity. How does that impact the way people eat?
I think the first thing is people want variety. In Shanghai, there's a crazy amount of restaurants, and there's ones opening every day or every week. So the implication for that is that the people don't want to eat the same thing and they want to be excited with new flavors. But in terms of a health impact, they may not be familiar with that food or that cuisine or those ingredients, so they could be overeating and something that's bad for themselves or long-term health.
So how do you combat that?
There needs to be more healthy choices, I think, in big cities in China. But Chinese consumers, they still very much like their Chinese food. So it's just how do we make that cool and tasty and trending, to fight all the Western imports and food concepts or unhealthy foods.
The scientists at the KOFCO Nutrition and Health Research Institute are working on a life-changing mission.
So tell me what the impetus was to build this massive R&D facility.
Company KOFCO has a vision to extend the Chinese life by 1 year. We studied the Chinese people to understand what nutrition is particularly need for that life stage and how we package their everyday food from rice, flour, to cooking oil, to milk, meat, in a way we provide the right nutrition to them, what they need, but in a good taste.
Of course, you want to make it taste good.
Instead of overweight, overeat, overconsume.
KOFCO is continually looking for ways to increase nutrition without sacrificing flavor.
Here, I want to show you another example for modernized process for the oil. A lot of good things lost during the process. For example, vitamin E and trans fat will be increased.
So your goal is to find a way to purify the oil, but to keep the nutritions and not increase the trans fat.
Yes. We control the temperature and the processing time. We get optimized process.
So by heating the oil and putting in this clay and mixing it together, you're able to remove the impurities to the point that it becomes that much lighter.
It is just a process of refining. We call it bleaching. And after the bleaching, the oil will go through the neutralizing and deodorizing to take off the flavor and odor.
And therefore you can have a much cleaner oil.
Yes. Vitamin E content has increased about 30% in the oil. It is a great success.
This is a big win for everybody.
The quest to find new consumer choices that help extend the lives of hundreds of millions doesn't stop at China's borders.
There's some truth to the idea that a happy cow means better milk.
China is going to great lengths to feed a nation. Today, with more choices and savvier consumers, the country finds itself catering to all sorts of new and emerging trends.
One of the biggest changes to the Chinese diet is the addition of milk. At one time, very few mainland Chinese people actually drank this stuff. But as China opens more to the West, the Chinese people want more access to typical Western foods like milk and cheese. The bottom line is, China is now the single largest importer of dairy products in the world, and their demand for milk is skyrocketing.
People are drinking more and more milk. In the year 2000, milk consumption was 1 kilogram per person per year. 10 years later, it was nearly 10. I'm traveling all the way to Inner Mongolia to a town called Hohhot, the heart of Chinese milk production.
I mean, when you were a kid, you didn't drink milk, did you?
We don't.
And now it's becoming a central piece of the diet.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
30 years ago, you would not have had your job.
I'm still young.
So is that where they live?
Yeah, that's the area with the milking cow live.
Can I go meet your friends?
Yeah, sure. Let's go.
All right, let's go meet some milking cows.
To quench the new Chinese thirst for milk, China has imported 250,000 Frisian cows, the world's best milk producers. Some came all the way from New Zealand to their new home in Inner Mongolia.
I thought it was a bit of a cliche, but in fact, there's some truth to the idea that a happy cow means better milk.
Yes, correct. We try to make them happy as possible. First, from the feeds.
Yeah.
We analyze which was the best combination for the cow. Make sure they can get a high yield, but also they're eating very happiness for this. Yeah.
So this is a sort of a specially designed feed.
Yes.
Yeah. Good food makes for good happy cows.
The second thing is we put the sands into the bed because that's the best material for the cow to lie down on the bed, very comfortable.
What does sleeping comfort have to do with milk quality?
The more lie down timing, the more the blood goes to the breast, then the nutrition absorbed by the milk, that good became the good quality of milk.
But this is not the only industry looking to conquer the world's consumers.
What did you say your name is?
My name is Jackie Chan.
Your name is not Jackie Chan. Really?
Really?
What's your name in Chinese?
Zhang Chenglong.
Zhang Chenglong?
Jackie Chan Zhang.
Wow, this is amazing. I'm hanging out with Jackie Chan on set. I've gotten to explore the new frontier of China's economic transformation, and that's included wading through piglets, checking out cows on a rotating carousel, and fulfilling my childhood dream of finally becoming a Chinese soap opera star. All right. All right. So apparently my character is not the king, but I'm a servant. Yeah. 师傅
尽管吩咐.
尽管吩咐.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll do a line read. I'll get a little feedback.
Yeah.
You know, I've never acted before. I'm not a. All right.
Just 1, 2, 3, action.
是尽管吩咐.
你去告诉唐宝，南玄月被关在九重天上。
是 sorry. Sorry. 是
从头来。
Screw it. All right, so take two. All right.
师傅尽管
尽管吩咐.
吩咐。Yeah.
All right. 师傅尽管吩咐.
你去告诉唐宝，南玄月被关在九重天上。
是。And scene.
Yeah.
We did all right? We did good? All right. There's chemistry here. I feel something in the air.
Yeah.
Thank you. 谢谢.
This TV drama is adapted from a popular online novel that's received over 500 million views. So even if a fraction of its fans tune in, this will easily dwarf the viewership of a mega hit in America. This is the big time.
Okay.
开始。I'm ready. 3, 2, 1, action.
是否尽管吩咐。
花千骨在这次战争中表现得非常英勇，你一定要向他学习。去吧。
是师傅。We good? The Chinese middle class now has more leisure and more purchasing power, and they're changing. And frankly, they've become something that would have been unimaginable 40 years ago. They've turned into consumers. And with their newfound purchasing power, they want not just more food, they want better food. Here we have the experimental whole grain, fibrous, nutrition-rich noodles that we're testing today. They want blockbuster entertainment to fill that leisure time.
All they want is gigantic robots that roam the screen.
And they want fashion beyond just clothing.
They are willing to try something brand new.
And I know it sounds somewhat frivolous talking about movies and food and so forth, but it's actually kind of serious because this represents a paradigm shift in Chinese culture. Because when you're talking about almost 1.4 billion citizens and growing, habits of the Chinese middle class will have a direct and profound impact on the rest of the world.